Right now, collectors are dropping $20,000 on a single revolver that hasn't rolled off an assembly line in over 15 years. Certain rifles vanish off gun shop racks in under 48 hours. That's how red-hot the market is today. So buckle in. Because the number one pick on this list isn't a new wonder gun. It's a design the industry walked away from years ago, and now it's hotter than anything else you can buy. Number 10. Auto-Ordnance M1 Carbine. The M1 Carbine put more long guns in American hands during World War II than any other rifle. Over 6 million units left the production lines between 1941 and 1945. Paratroopers carried them into Normandy. Marines shouldered them across Pacific Islands. Anyone who needed something lighter than the M1 Garand but stronger than a sidearm picked up a carbine. After the war, millions of surplus rifles hit the civilian market. For decades, they were everywhere. By the 2000s, though, clean originals had become high-dollar collector pieces, $2,000 to $3,000 for an authentic wartime model. And reproduction quality was all over the map. That's when Auto-Ordnance stepped up in the 2010s. Their faithful reproductions capture the look, feel, and handling of the original GI guns. 18-inch barrels, Parkerized steel, walnut stocks. And at just 5.4 pounds, the rifle shoulders exactly the way veterans remembered. The short-stroke gas system keeps the .30 carbine cartridge running smooth, while the simple flip sight makes snap shooting second nature. Pros: extremely lightweight and maneuverable, historically accurate build, reliable gas system, naturally balanced for quick pointing, far more affordable than true wartime originals. Cons: less stopping power compared to modern carbines. Ammo costs more than common calibers. Standard mags hold just 15 rounds. Not designed for long-range accuracy. Requires careful maintenance with the right oils and parts. Retail price: around $1,200. Here's a fact that surprises most shooters. More American soldiers carried the M1 Carbine than any other firearm of the Second World War. Yet today, most people at the range have never even handled one. Number 9. Ithaca 37 Featherlight. The Ithaca 37 carved its legacy in the Pacific theater of World War II. Marines carried it through some of the harshest jungle fighting of the 20th century. From its launch in 1937 all the way into Vietnam, this pump shotgun built a loyal following thanks to its unique bottom eject action. That feature made it fully ambidextrous, long before the market even cared about ambi controls. When the original Ithaca company went bankrupt in the 1980s, the design nearly disappeared. Later production runs were plagued with sloppy machining and poor quality control. For almost 20 years, the only way to land a solid example was to dig through gun shows or estate sales. That changed in 2005. Ithaca Gun Company LLC brought the Featherlight back, built with modern CNC machining but old-school attention to detail. Instead of cast parts like you'll find in cheaper pumps, these receivers are cut from solid blocks of steel. That gives them a lifespan and toughness that leaves most competitors behind. And here's the key: they didn't lose the soul of the original gun. They kept the character while fixing the issues that plagued the later generations. Pros: bottom eject system makes it completely ambidextrous. Solid steel receiver built to last a lifetime. Smooth, consistent action that cycles clean. Lightweight frame reduces fatigue over long sessions. Classic lines that collectors and shooters both appreciate. Cons: price point sits higher than entry-level pumps. Aftermarket support is limited compared to the big names. Maintenance requires a little specialized know-how. Loading is one shell at a time. Not widely stocked in every gun shop. Starting price: around $900. Number 8. Marlin 336. Ask any American deer hunter to name a rifle, and odds are the Marlin 336 chambered in .30-30 Winchester is at the top of the list. Since 1948, this lever gun has filled more freezers than just about anything else. For decades, it was the definition of a working man's hunting rifle, compact enough for brush country, fast follow-up shots thanks to the lever system, and chambered in a cartridge that proved itself time and again on white-tailed deer. But when Remington bought Marlin in 2007, quality went downhill fast. By 2020, rifles were shipping that barely functioned right out of the box. For a while, it looked like the 336 was finished. Then Ruger stepped in. Their acquisition of Marlin in 2020 breathed new life into the platform. By 2022, the new Ruger-built rifles were on the shelves, and shooters immediately noticed the difference. The receivers are precision machined steel, the barrels are cold hammer-forged, and the walnut stocks look every bit as good as they shoot. A side-loading gate lets you feed 6 rounds of 30-30 into the tube. Up top, the traditional buckhorn rear and brass bead front sight still give hunters that fast, intuitive sight picture in the thick woods. Pros: lever action system allows rapid follow-up shots. Compact size is ideal for brush hunting. 30-30 remains a proven deer cartridge. Carries on a true American hunting tradition. Ruger quality control has restored confidence. Cons: tube-fed magazine limits capacity. Cartridge range tops out at medium distances. Heavier than many modern bolt-action rifles. Iron sights aren't friendly for aging eyes. Requires a different rhythm than a bolt gun. Starting price, about $700. Number 7. Ruger 1022. Since 1964, the Ruger 1022 has been America's rimfire rifle. It's the rifle that brought more people into shooting than any other. And it sparked an aftermarket so big, entire companies exist just to support it. Technically, Ruger never stopped making the 1022, but the simple wood-stocked carbine faded for years while the company pushed tactical editions and special runs. In 2020, Ruger brought back the classic 18.5-inch barrel, straight walnut stock, and the 10-round rotary mag that's been running flawlessly for 60 years. This rifle sits in two worlds at once. It carries that classic hunting rifle look, but it's also the most customizable rimfire ever built. Change the stock, the barrel, the trigger, or drop it into a chassis. You can turn a 1022 into anything you want. Pros: affordable entry rifle for new shooters, endless upgrade paths. Rotary magazine design is smooth and reliable, light enough for youth shooters, surprising accuracy for a rimfire. Cons: factory trigger is serviceable, but most shooters replace it. Iron sights feel dated. Wood finish needs care to keep sharp. Power is limited, strictly plinking or small game. Easy to dump more money into upgrades than the gun itself. Street price starts around $300. Number 6. Henry lever action with side gate. Henry Repeating Arms built their name on buttery smooth tube-loading lever guns. The craftsmanship was never in question, but without a side gate, a lot of shooters looked to Marlin or Winchester instead. That all changed in 2019. Henry dropped their first side gate models, and overnight, they weren't the underdog anymore. They were right in the fight for the top lever gun slot. The big boy steel, the Long Ranger, classic American walnut stocks, precision machined receivers, and actions that cycle like a hot knife through butter. Load it like a traditional lever gun through the side gate, or keep it old school and top off through the tube. Henry gave shooters both options, and it hit like a thunderclap in the lever gun world. From 357 Magnum all the way up to 4570 Government, Henry has every box checked. Hunting, home defense, range fun. They've got a chambering that fits. This was proof that American lever actions aren't just hanging on. They're thriving. Pros: fit and finish are top tier on every rifle. Side gate adds real practicality. Actions are slick right out of the box. Wide caliber lineup covers every roll. Built in the USA with pride. Cons: price runs higher than entry-level lever guns. Aftermarket support is limited, heavier than most of the competition. Factory irons fall short at longer ranges. Cleaning takes patience and old-school tricks. Street price starts around $800. Think about it, while Marlin and Winchester struggled with quality control, Henry quietly perfected the lever rifle everybody else forgot about. Number 5. Smith & Wesson, Model 19. The Smith & Wesson Model 19 earned its combat magnum name the hard way. From the 1950s through the 1980s, this was the revolver riding on the hips of American law enforcement. Built on the medium K-frame, It gave officers the power of the .357 Magnum without forcing them to lug around the larger, heavier end-frame guns. When production shut down in 1999, it marked the end of an era. Semi-autos had taken over, and the Model 19 quickly shifted from duty weapon to collector's prize, especially those pinned and recessed examples from the 1960s and 70s. Then, in 2019, Smith & Wesson brought it back, and the modern version is stronger and more refined than its predecessors. The updated design uses a two-piece barrel for greater accuracy. Modern metallurgy allows it to run full-power Magnum loads all day long, and internal upgrades make the action more reliable. Shooters can pick from the classic 2.5-inch carry model or the 4.25-inch service-length barrel. Both keep the timeless look, while delivering the benefit of 70 years of engineering improvements. Pros: delivers the ideal balance of power and portability. Double-action trigger is smooth and predictable. 6-shot revolver simplicity and reliability. Can chamber both .357 Magnum and .38 Special. Improved metallurgy eliminates common timing issues. Cons: 6-round capacity feels limited today. Heavier than polymer-framed pistols. Requires more upkeep than a semi-auto. Reloads are slower than magazine-fed handguns. Priced above many entry-level revolvers. Market price, around $950. Number 4. Colt Python. The Colt Python wasn't just a revolver. It was the American dream wheel gun. Introduced in 1955, hand-fitted, deep, royal blue finish steel, polished to a mirror, and a trigger that broke like glass. From the 50s until 2005, the Python sat on top, the crown jewel of Colt's revolver line. Each one was tuned by craftsmen who built them like art pieces, not just firearms. When Colt shut down production, prices exploded. $3 to $5 grand wasn't unusual for a clean example. Most of them turned into safe queens, too valuable to shoot. Then in 2020, Colt shocked everyone. The Python came back. Stainless steel, CNC precision, reinforced to eat hotter loads. But the DNA stayed intact: vent rib barrel, full underlug, target-grade trigger. Only now, it's stronger and more consistent than the originals. Pros: legendary smooth trigger pull. Stainless steel construction fights wear and corrosion. Vent rib barrel helps manage heat. Delivers match-level accuracy straight from the box. Holds an unshakable place in revolver culture. Cons: price tag is steep compared to most revolvers. Demand makes them tough to find. Too heavy to carry concealed. Runs best on premium ammo. Finish requires care to keep it pristine. Street price today sits around $1,500. Number 3. Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle is XS, distilled into steel. Born in the 1980s, built to chamber cartridges meant for rifles, machined like industrial equipment, and instantly cemented as a cultural icon. But in the 2000s, production shifted overseas. Quality slipped. The legend started looking more like a novelty. That changed in 2018. Magnum Research brought manufacturing back home to Minnesota, and the American-built Desert Eagle roared back to life. Hand-fitted, precision-machined, finished to the standard that made the originals famous. Accuracy that rivals hunting rifles. A gas system that eats cartridges other handguns can't even attempt. Available in .357 Magnum, .44 Magnum, and the infamous .50 Action Express. It's still the most powerful factory handgun on the planet. Pros: unmatched power in a production pistol. Gas system makes Magnum loads shootable. Surprisingly accurate for its size. Built in America with strict quality control. Cultural status that no other handgun can touch. Cons: too big and heavy for carry or duty use. Ammo costs sting every time you hit the range. Long shooting sessions will wear you out. Holster options are limited. Needs the right loads to run flawlessly. Price runs about $1,800. Number 2. Walther PPK. Few pistols carry the legacy of the Walther PPK. Launched in 1931, it set the gold standard for deep concealment handguns. German police carried it. Intelligence officers relied on it. And Hollywood immortalized it in the hands of a certain tuxedoed agent who prefers his martinis shaken. What made it legendary was simple. It vanished in a pocket. It hit with enough accuracy to matter, and it earned a reputation for being reliable when your life was on the line. But when Smith & Wesson ended their production run in 2012, the pistol vanished from American shelves. For 7 years, the only way to get one was paying high-dollar import prices or settling for used examples. That all changed in 2019. Walther USA brought the PPK and the slightly larger PPK/S back into production at their Fort Smith, Arkansas plant. These American-made versions stay true to the original steel frame construction, fixed barrel design, and the signature slide-mounted decocker. The double-action pull is long by design for safety, but the single-action break remains crisp and clean. Pros: iconic design with collector appeal. Fixed barrel makes it more accurate than most pocket pistols. Built in the USA to strict standards. Compact frame ideal for concealment. Proven reliability stretching back 90 years. Cons: heavier than modern polymer compacts. 7-round magazine feels dated. Double-action pull is long. Price point runs higher than striker-fired competitors. Demands consistent cleaning to run smooth. Street price, about $850. Number 1. Browning High Power. The Browning High Power was John Moses Browning's final masterpiece. Born in the 1920s, refined into a sidearm that would outlast empires, and fielded by more soldiers worldwide than any other pistol. British commandos carried it through World War II. Special operations units trusted it for decades after. With a 13-round mag and a frame that feels like it melts into your hand, the High Power rewrote the definition of a fighting pistol. When F-N shut down production in 2018, most folks thought the legend was dead. But in 2021, Springfield Armory brought it back with the SA-35. They stripped the magazine disconnect, tuned the trigger, and gave it modern 3-dot sights without killing the single-action heart of the gun. Not long after, FN countered with their own revival in 2022. That version adds ambidextrous controls and stretches capacity to 17 rounds. The takeaway? A design almost a century old still runs with today's pistols. Pros: clean, single-action trigger that ranks among the best ever made. Slim enough to conceal. 13 rounds was groundbreaking for its time. Points: naturally instinct takes over. A true collector's piece with unmatched military pedigree. Cons: single-action system requires discipline and training. Missing modern safety features some shooters expect. Aftermarket support can't touch Glock or SIG. Manual safety is mandatory muscle memory. Costs more than most polymer sidearms. Springfield's SA-35 starts around $700. Fun fact: this was the last design John Moses Browning ever created, and it served more armies worldwide than even the AK-47. And that's the list. 10 legendary firearms that refuse to stay buried, each one clawing its way back through better engineering, tighter quality control, or simply because American shooters demanded their return. From the raw, over-the-top muscle of the Desert Eagle to the timeless rimfire simplicity of the Ruger 1022, these comebacks prove one thing: true classics never vanish. They just wait for the right moment to make their return. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below. Tell me which comeback surprised you the most. I'll catch you in the next one.